NT8 on the porch. Wanted to give you a little insight into NT8's work. Back in 1989, actually I was there from 87 to 90, but down in Panama, we had all kinds of bullshit going on down there. And George H.W. Bush, fuck him, hate that cocksucker still to this day. And you'll hear some of his stupid statements in the video I'm going to put up. But I worked with the Army, I worked with the Air Force, I was a Navy cop down there. Well, Navy cop, Navy security. I was put in charge of perimeter security. And it was really unbelievable. They sent the Marines down, the LAVs down, and they put them up in the gym. They also set up tents for the Marines, and I was in charge of the entire perimeter. 12 on, 12 off. And I really got to know all the Marines, especially in the LAV battalion. Because if I ran into problems, I'd call dispatch, and dispatch would call the Marines, and the LAVs would come out and back us up. The other part of that was the air hand tank farm, which 87, 88, early 89, the Panamanian Defense Force was probing the Marines out there that were stationary in pillboxes and foxholes and stuff like that. They'd call back to their base, and I was their response in my police car to come out and go, what's going on? Well, I heard something over there. Okay. So we'd go over there with flashlights. Nothing there. Well, we lost a Marine out there. I think that was late 88. And early 89, they shipped down the Marines with their LAVs. And then I got pulled back, defend the base perimeter. So I'd defend that, and inside that perimeter was the Marines and the LAVs. So then come time for the invasion, the LAVs deployed. I didn't have any backup. In the meantime, they boosted our naval security detachment up quite a bit, and we were good to go. We just didn't have an LAV to come back us up with the, I think it was a 25mm Bushmaster, something like that. All we had were M16s, 12-gauge shotguns, and Laws rockets. So I carried all that shit in my cruiser, which I I ended up driving a truck, Chevy pickup truck. But I tell you what, in this video, I got to know each and every one of these Marines, but I had to take the sound out of it because they put music to it. I know YouTube will smack it down. So I'm going to put part of George H.W. Bush's stammer, stutter, stupid shit that he said that I never got to see until I got back to the States. And then finally when YouTube came along, somebody posted it. So I got to hear how much of an idiot this guy was, which I already knew. So, hope you enjoy the video. I'm in a few of these pictures. Yeah, I really am. But I won't stop at it and point myself out. Yeah. Alright, NT8 on the porch. We'll talk to you later.
My fellow citizens, last night I ordered U.S. military forces to Panama. No president takes such action lightly. This morning, I want to tell you what I did and why I did it. For nearly 2 years, the United States, the nations of Latin America and the Caribbean have worked together to resolve the crisis in Panama. The goals of the United States have been to safeguard the lives of Americans, to defend democracy in Panama, to combat drug trafficking, and to protect the integrity of the Panama Canal Treaty. Many attempts have been made to resolve this crisis through diplomacy and negotiations. All were rejected by the dictator of Panama, General Manuel Noriega, an indicted drug trafficker. Last Friday, Noriega declared his military dictatorship to be in a state of war with the United States and publicly threatened the lives of Americans in Panama. The very next day, forces under his command shot and killed an unarmed American serviceman, wounded another, arrested and brutally beat a third American serviceman, and then brutally interrogated his wife, threatening her with sexual abuse. That was enough. General Noriega's reckless threats and attacks upon Americans in Panama created an imminent danger to the 35,000 American citizens in Panama. As president, I have no higher obligation than to safeguard the lives of American citizens. And that is why I directed our armed forces to protect the lives of American citizens in Panama and to bring General Noriega to justice in the United States. I contacted the bipartisan leadership of Congress last night and informed them of this decision. And after taking this action, I also talked with leaders in Latin America, the Caribbean, and those of other U.S. allies. At this moment, U.S. forces, including forces deployed from the United States last night, are engaged in action in Panama. The United States intends to withdraw the forces newly deployed to Panama as quickly as possible. Our forces have conducted themselves courageously and selflessly, and as Commander-in-Chief, I salute every one of them and thank them on behalf of our country. Tragically, some Americans have lost their lives in defense of their fellow citizens, in defense of democracy. And my heart goes out to their families. We also regret and mourn the loss of innocent Panamanians. The brave Panamanians elected by the people of Panama in the elections last May, President Guillermo Endara and Vice Presidents Calderon and Ford, have assumed the rightful leadership of their country. You remember those horrible pictures of newly elected Vice President Ford, covered head to toe with blood, beaten mercilessly by so-called dignity battalions. Well, the United States today recognizes the democratically elected government of President Endara. I will send our ambassador back to Panama immediately. Key military objectives have been achieved. Most organized resistance has been eliminated, but the operation is not over yet. General Noriega is in hiding, and nevertheless, yesterday, a dictator ruled Panama, and today, constitutionally elected